Hello, fam. Welcome to Vogue Live. We're all about bringing you inspiring and educational conversations right here on this particular platform. And today, we bring you something not less than something spectacular. I guess who I'm having right here to join me in this particular conversation, the man of the moment. Everybody knows him based on popularity as Ubuntu or the Sakura man. And this very minute, he joins me to have this in-depth conversation.
What inspired you to embark on this?
I've always believed that, just as Blackwell rightfully said, one man no fit do one finish. We are all a sense of community. So, in as much as how I'm capacitated to do whatever, I believe that once I'm able to collectively rally people's efforts, we can awesomely make it happen.
You are in second year.
Yes, please, I am.
Been in the school for less than 2 years.
Yes, please.
Why do you think you can control the whole SRC?
First and foremost, I believe that the good people of KNUST know truth for what it is. And that's given, or that's stated. Year groups are not metrics or determinants of how competent or how poised someone is in order to change status quo.
That is, let's say you have a project at the end of your term of office, that is if you are voted for, how would you evaluate it? If it was successful or not?
The only metric of evaluation will be in the satisfaction of the people who gave me the mandate. So once they are truly satisfied, then that's the definition of success to me.
So, Tinia, welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for expending the time to join us right here.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel very honored.
Honored.
Very, very honored.
I mean, when we were coming all the way from the pharmacy, everybody was shouting Ubuntu, Sakura man. This has literally become the slogan. This has literally become, the predominant names that people are mentioning. What would you say has amounted to this particular energy on the part of the student?
I think I've always said this, the learned people of KNUST know truth for what it is. And once they see, they can identify what truth is. And I'm very glad to say they found truth in me. And also my very intense quest of service have pushed this particular drive for them to move towards me whenever they see me. And I'm very honored. I always have my arms wide open to receive them as well.
Yeah, incredibly said. Now, there's prevalent ideologue. Apparently, you are even the very first sophomore to assume the presidential seat when it comes to the SRC.
That's
right. That's something that's never happened in the history books of KNUST before.
That's true.
Reflecting on all these things and the fact that this has not been the culture or the political culture of KNUST, how does it genuinely feel when you reflect on all these thoughts?
I would say it's a normal feeling, considering how massive the people showed up to vote for me into office. I think that's equally how massive the responsibility lies on my shoulders. So I'm really, really ready, trying to get all the resources necessary to lead KNUST to the very great lands of good stewardship as I promised them earlier. So that's how the feeling looks like.
Great. Right, let me just put this before our listeners so they better appreciate all the conversation that we're having right here. So Ubuntu and I go way back, but I think relative to this particular conversation we are having, let's do away with all the ambit of the titles, all the slogans, all the popularity, right? Take a step back to talking about the collective stories that have come together to shape your personality today. So while we rocket into the main conversation, can you share with us, use this very platform to tell us what stories have collectively shaped your life to this particular point in time, all the way back?
Okay, so I believe the service is beyond just popularity, especially moments while you are very much eager and mean whatever you say to the people. It's simply beyond popularity. It comes with a greater task and commitment to service. So I took up all those bits of commitments from my very early life. I must say, my grandmother has been my hero all through. She's been there for me all through my life up until this moment, together with some relatives and friends who have shaped me into this particular person I am. I embraced diversity all through these early years, and I found a very subtle way to actually relate with every single person during the process of my growth. So that's on a very miniature version. I reclined onto that and projected it in this very big community I find myself here right now. So that has actually given me this purpose of service even more, especially considering the fact that I've been able to combine just mere relations with a special intent like serving people in public spaces, like purpose. So purpose with very good relations has brought me this far.
Good.
And I believe that onward, it's going to take me a long way in terms of delivery of whatever I've promised.
Time and again, we hear of us to say that experience do play a critical role in shaping our personalities, even this particular time that we find ourselves in. Now, at what point did you realize that this is a catalyst, this is a signal that you have to begin your leadership journey? Because time and again, we hear that there are some people that are born leaders, others probably would pick up a few cues along the way, right? But reflecting on all the experiences that you have had with all those who have surrounded you, your support systems, your friends, your loved ones, even the people around you who are cheering up your name, this particular point in time. At what point would you say you realize that this is a signal that I have to start my leadership path?
Okay, it's where we needed someone to point out the lapses and not just point them out, deduce a very constructive solution to approach them. And whenever everyone looked everywhere for ideas, Shakir was there. So I had the ideas and implementing them was quite tedious doing it alone. So I knew that, okay, since I can collaborate with people with my ideas, why not take it outside the classroom? Why not take it outside my very small circle? So all through, I've never seen myself as a leader, as I've seen myself as a vessel that when fueled by positivity and constructive ethics towards work can make a change.
Okay. So it all basically happened right here in the university.
Yeah, basically, I won't say it's just a continuity on whatever that I've been filled with all through my early years. Since I was like in the midst of lots of very positive people, people who were willing to create changes, even in our smaller communities. So that's been the inspiration all through.
Okay. To better have our listeners to appreciate all the conversation we're having right here, I think this is the very best opportunity to let us in the loop about where exactly you're hailing from, right? The schools, the elementary schools, briefly, and also the high school that you went, and then we basically rocket into some of the experiences that have also come together to, mold you into the person you are today.
Okay, so I've had very much diverse experiences. So I grew up with lots of people, like basically how every typical Ghanaian child should. And that was, in somewhere around 2006, the early days, I had my primary school education. I started basically from New Age Academy, where I went all through to JHS. So I really appreciated having to go a long way with people, learning, unlearning, and relearning from them, acquainting yourself with their mannerisms and seeing them evolve into new beings, and they seeing you evolve, and all appreciating yourselves all through the journey. So I stuck to one school, like one basic school, all the way. So it gave me a very solid foundation of how humans evolve in terms of relations. So up until my my SHS, I went to Agri Memorial where I obtained my SHS education. So in Agri Memorial too, I came across a whole different community, which wasn't the usual JHS one that I was used to. So I incorporated whatever I've learned previously, and I survived. I mean, despite the new stuff that I was seeing on a daily, I was able to find my way through.
What are some of the new
Hopefully-
stuff that you care to share with us? Because immediately you talk about the concept of survivor. I believe our listeners would definitely share in the question that what are some of the things that you would predicate on to say that you really push through it? So what are some of the things that you can share
Okay, so
with us?
I'm not from so well-to-do. I'm from a very calm and humble abode. Way back in Agri Memorial, I was in class with people who were, I mean, let me say, hailing from the upper echelons, the bourgeoisie class. And I mean, here I am, the average Ghanaian. So these people actually opened my eyes to a different part of life. Also, there were the indigents in Cape Coast where I also had to relate to them fair enough and respect whatever their beliefs were in terms of human relations. So, I mean, all these shaped my whole mentality about what our being is all about, what our existence is all about, although I'm still figuring out more. But I think for the ones that I've been able to learn so far, I appreciate them enough. And it helped me in my interpersonal relations with people.
No, there are different multivariate definitions that people give to the whole idea of leadership. Right? People say leadership is all about service, it's all about being servile, it's all about being humble, it's all about delivery, it's all about implementing the things that you say you want to do. And others even believe that leadership is all about, directing your followers to see and understand the vision that you intend to have for them. From your perspective, and relatively because of all the experiences you've racked up, what does leadership genuinely means to you?
What leadership genuinely means to me, it's not just seeing a fault and being on a horse speed to solve it. No. It's about feeling it, being in it, knowing exactly how it's benefiting or hurting whoever that's on either sides of the whole situation. And that's reclining to your morality as a human being, probing your conscience, and then asking yourself that if you were on either sides of status quo, which of them would you have loved to see it progress? And as a moralized human, as I am, I'll always empathize with the former than the latter. So you can count me as the voice of the voiceless, who just doesn't want to, be heard, but also wants to be heard and also create some change. Even if it's infinitesimal, something has to be changed. Yeah.
No, incredible. Now, taking a listen to some of the videos that you have out there on all socials, your veteran period, when you're being vetted prior to you assuming the presidential seat. One of the things that you kept on emphasizing, and relatively our conversation we've had on several FM stations, one of the key concepts you kept on emphasizing was morality. Now that we're having this particular conversation up, what is the significance, right, of morality when it comes to leadership? Because you've kept on hammering over the essence of morality, how moralized you are, literally highlighting a few things that genuinely matter when it comes to the whole ideologue of morality, right? Now, what do you think is the significant role that morality plays in the context of leadership?
I think leadership comes with some source, let me say some form of free will at some point. It comes with some form of free will. So in a world where no one actually cares, or not actually cares, people care, but can do close to nothing about your actions and inactions, what then becomes your guide? What then becomes your compass of direction? And that's where morality plays a very big role. And if you had to ask me sincerely, what morality is. I'll tell you that morality is very subjective, depending on where it's been implemented. So, with that said, in the space where you have your free will to do everything as a leader, and you can go away with anything, are you going to do what inclines with what moralized humans are expected to do? Or you're just going to go the other way and I mean, do the otherwise. Yeah.
You know, the mention of morality actually dawns on me. This thing I normally do whenever I'm having conversation with my Muslim brothers and my Muslim friends, obviously. I remember there was a time when you came in the studios, we were having a conversation. Prior to the main conversation, I made you start with a word of prayer.
Yeah.
So the mention of morality actually dawns on me that is something that I feel for us to do. So I don't know if we can take a segue of an we rocket into you starting with this introductory prayer of yours that you normally say.
Sure.
I love it. There's just sentimental, you know, emotions that normally erupt out of me whenever I'm hearing this word of prayer. So I want us to take a segue of and briefly share with us this word of prayer and then we rocket into the main
So first and foremost, I'll take this as a forward. So Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salatu wa salam ala ibadihi allazina istafa. So I would like to thank God the Almighty who made all this possible and also all stakeholders involved that have brought me this far. I owe all I am to them. And I owe this big opportunity to everyone as well. So I'll just keep it short. I mean, it's an opening
it's
of the whole chapter of leadership. So I'd like to also read something from the Quran. That's called the opening. That's Surah Al-Fatiha.
Technically, we should have done this right from the get-go,
Sure,
but
that's fine.
It's something that we missed out. I really love it whenever we are having, you know, this norm of having this opening, particularly when I'm having a conversation with my Muslim brothers. So, I mean, just...
So I'll say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen.
Ameen. You know, over and over again, I asked my Muslim brothers to, you know, say this prayer, but I've never really asked the in-depth meaning behind this particular prayer. So now that we're having this particular conversation, I don't know if you can just briefly tell me what really goes into this word of prayer.
So first, the very early verses say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise and thanks be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Maliki Yawmiddin, owner of the day of judgment. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You alone worship and you alone ask for help from. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. Sirat al-lazina an'amta alayhim, the path of those whom you have bestowed your mercies on. غير المغضوب صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Not the path of those who have gone astray, or the path of those that your anger has befallen on them. So that's what I say. I'm going to walk a very long path. I'm going to walk a journey. So it would be only best, or it's going to serve my best advantage if I'm to recite this particular prayer. So the good Lord also comes and pours down His mercy.
And that became imperative of us to actually, you know, say this word of prayer. And specifically circling back to the mention of morality, that's what dawned on me, how important it is for us to, you know, chip in this particular segment of our conversation. All right, I appreciate you a lot. And I don't know if there's that possibility of me probably learning a few things when it comes to...
Of course, I'm always open. I'm always open to this.
Right. So we've talked about leadership, right? Now, let's basically understand what was a motivating factor, right? I mean, right from first year, we saw you when you were part of, you know, the followers of Master Ofibuachi as at the time that you was running for the office of the SRC President, right? We saw you being a part of, you know, the support system, being a part of, you know, the people helping you with this campaign, right? And out of the blue, we just saw you just come onto the ballot, right? Being a part of the candidate. Now, let's first understand what was the motivating factor? What precisely propelled you to being part of, you know, the candidate when it comes to the office of the president?
Okay, so I've always had an urge to take a public office, not because of the feeling of being a leader, but the feeling of having to serve a far greater community and leaving this whole world, realizing that you've made an impact that can also be that can transcend your generation. Yeah. And as the reason was established, in essence of whatever that I've been able to accrue personally, I came to university all alone by myself in first year. I mean, although few of my friends that I completed with could make it here, but they've always seen that in me. So someone just took me, Shakir, why don't you try this thing? I was like, oh, I'm only in first year and I'm not eligible. So per the criteria necessary to run. So I laid my eyes down on grounds, did my watching. I found Kofi Boache, who I resonated so hard with in terms of philosophies of public service and candidature and personality. So I broke my back for Kofi all through, and every single life on campus here could bear witness. Yeah. But I also found a certain way to balance that with academics. That couldn't take me all the way down, although, I mean, you are still performing.
Exactly.
God being so good.
Exactly. Now that you have mentioned the whole issue of academics, right, let's first understand what were some of the challenges, right, that you faced up, having been part of the support systems for Kofi Boache as at the time that he was running for his elections, and all the way to you yourself aspiring to be, the current.
I mean, I would say it's just Kofi Boache because there were some people that I was with prior to. Kofi Boache was the drive that brought me into the limelight. And I respect that a lot. And I want to say a very big thank you to Kofi Boache wherever he is right now. And there were people who helped me even in the cause of Kofi's campaign and all, and I truly appreciate them. I want to say a very big thank you to them. The likes of Alas and Natasha, who lots of people say I look like so much. And of course, he has far lots more in him than I do. I really admire him a lot. The likes of Edem, Abenyega, and these were two close people who shaped my whole political life as early as first year. Kofi gave me the pedestal. So you see how the work was done. So I owe all I am today in politics and to these people because they were the monumental trees in it all. So while with Kofi, I was just doing me. That was it. Whatever you saw me doing for Kofi was just me doing me. And whatever I'm doing now is me doing and even more me.
But would you therefore say that exposing yourself in that regard, specifically being part of Kofi Boate's support systems, helping him with the campaign and all, would you therefore say that you had that zeal to become the next SRC president, even as at the time that you were helping him? Was that something that you had behind your thoughts?
I mean, I was willing to settle for an appointment in his administration, should it have gone well. But God had far greater plans. And I think this was his plan for me. So right on the day when we lost, I thought it was going to be selfish to bring it up, but I brought it up anyway. I told Kofi, see this, you've lost it, but it's not the end. I've taken up an intention and I want you to be by my side. Also, Kofi just dabbed me and gave me his word. And I mean, Kofi has been an inspiration because pharmacy, SRC presidential position, he always gave me a reason that in as much as I was with him, I should also stick with my academics. He gave me some tips, learning tips, and I could survive through. So it was best. It served my best interest. It served my best interest. Thank you so much, sir. It served my best interest in that regard. And I really appreciate it. Now, I'd like to go deeper, but maybe sometime when you catch me again. I don't want to share what they are for.
I see. Still on the subject of the challenges that you did encounter within the course of helping Kofi Boache, even, going along with your own campaign, right? How did you balance things out? Because on the issue of academics and possibly because there is this presumption time and again that we hear, even if when you want to run for a particular position on campus, the resources you have, the channeling. I mean, how were you able to balance all these things out?
I'll say I'm a chef of my own, if that would be fine a language to use. I have a way of cherry picking the people I need in my life. Although I allow a lot of people into my circle, but the people I need to make positive progress, I know them. And once I need them, I call on them. And because they see the potential because they see the potential I possess, they also rise up to the occasion whenever I call on them. So I have friends that take me up academically, friends that constructively critique me as well. And I have lots of naysayers that also push me with their naysaying. So, I mean, it's not an all rosy thing. There's lots of thorns in there, but we find a way to bring all of them together to make a positive progress. So that's how come what this is going.
All right. Talking about this naysayers, time and again we face criticisms.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I say this over and over whenever I have the platform to have discussions and conversations with people, that criticisms is literally part of life. And as a student of life, you obviously have, had a vis-a-vis experience with criticisms coming in from all sides, right? How would you therefore say you were able to deal with this, myriad number of criticisms that probably were coming your way? Because, even prior to you running for the elections, there were several allegations that as a second year, living experience, you don't have that expertise when it comes to handling certain masses, when it comes to, this larger scale of student. So how are you able to, deal with these? How are you able to deal with this particular issue of criticism?
There is a very, people presume that there is a very staunch narrative that has been embedded in the hearts of students, of which I've defied right now. And I just want to emphatically break this to everyone that students are not hell-bent on choosing second timers as their leaders or taking charge of the student front. Neither are they choosing leaders on the metric of who came here first and who didn't. They see truth for what it is. That's all I can say. Everyone sees truth for what it is. And the very intelligent people of this university saw that truth in me. So they disregarded all the other factors that presumably were the criteria to vote me into office. Because, I'm not a second timer. I'm a sophomore. And see me here right now.
And this actually begs the question that, were you even hopeful? Because taking a look at the pattern of the political culture of KNUST, it is understandable that no sophomore has actually assumed the presidential seat before, right? So oftentimes the motive is to probably come as a sophomore student, but with the hope of coming next time to be the president. Were you ever hopeful that, relative to all the effort that you were putting in, as far as your campaign was concerned, but there was a higher feasibility of you becoming the president?
In my mortal strength, I was highly limited because of the already established narrative on campus. But in the eyes of the Almighty, I knew everything was possible. So I kept pushing, I kept praying. I made sure I did all I could in my humane capacity. And so if this had gone whichever way, being it right, just as it has, alhamdulillah. But assuming it had gone down south, we would have gone with the norm. We would have tried again. But here we are. I'm so glad. I count myself to be so fortunate. The last time I heard some few stuff telling me that some people who deliberately want to run for these positions, try lots of times. And even sometimes they do complete without even attaining their dream. And I just hit it one time and it worked. I don't think this is my humane capacity. This is a divine power doing its thing. So I give all praise to the Almighty.
On the part of the students, there is this assertion that hope is lost when it comes to the SRC as an entity in terms of bringing out the solid, substantive, constructive policies that the students really need to redress and address their concerns. Now that you have assumed the presidential seat, right, what basically should a student expect in your administration?
Personally, I would say we start with lots of continuing students. Students that have been here for about 4 or 5 years, or even I've spoken to students that have been here for 6 years. And all they keep telling me is they don't see the people anymore. They don't see their leaders when they vote for them in power. They don't see its essence when it's being given the path to outplay itself. Like, let me basically say they don't see its essence when they are being pushed into the limelight to do their thing. This simply means the whole narrative or the whole essence of our students' front currently looks like a far-fetched ideology. Looks like the students is at one remote end and the SRC leadership is at the other far end. But what vision do I have for the good people of KNUST? We are coming to run an all-inclusive SRC. That's why my mantra simply says, Ubuntu, we are all involved. And we've been involved from day one. Exactly. And that's why I'm basically here. It's after elections, I'm still involved. I don't think I need to rest, but the people also have to see that, yes, I'm still active. I'm ready for the work.
Is there any underlying factor that compelled you to come up with, the whole ideologue of Ubuntu? Was that something?
I believe in collective efforts. One man if you do, I'm finished. That was my popular saying during the vetting. Yeah. One man if you do, I'm finished. So I can't do this all alone by myself. In as much as how I'm capacitated, I'm going to say the same things. In as much as how I'm capacitated to do everything, I believe that you are equally capacitated to do a whole lot of other things. So why not to put two and two together and even do far more greater things? So if I truly want to serve the best SRC that I seek to serve, then it means I have to bring all the bright minds together and also find a very nice way of implementing all those bright minds to benefit the whole student body.
You talked about the Famiko project,
Exactly.
which you basically highlighted a few things that you intend to bring on board when things begins to roll out. Should students expect the full execution of all these campaign policies that you have highlighted in your campaign?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Very. They should. Because these are very high and very feasible policies. These are not superficial stuff. One thing I forgot to mention is they repetitively kept saying that past administrations come and promise superficial stuff, and in the end they are not able to achieve them. And I mean, it brings about some form of trust fatigue at the end of the people who voted for them into office. I don't think bringing an ambulance to serve the students' populace is so much to attain. I don't think establishing a loan system with well-structured operational mechanisms is so much to implement. Just as the Ubuntu farms, and lastly, with the footpath that's going to connect Brunei to KSB, it's one thing that students need so bad. Very, very. One thing that students need so bad. So with all these things being said, these are the four main key things. They are the four main, main stuff that we really want to work on.
Okay. Now, wrapping things all up, give it a chance that you have, pulled through all the tenure that you have. What distinct legacy do you intend to leave when everything is said and done, obviously?
All I simply want to do is to open way and eradicate that whole mentality of they are newbies. Second years are newbies. They can't do this. A first timer is a newbie. He can't do this. He has to run again. So long as the person is meritable of that particular portfolio, that's the ultimate in terms of students' leadership, the SRC presidential position. Good day, good people of KNUST. I feel very honored, and I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to you all for entrusting me in the 2025-2026 students' leadership. As the 65th SRC president, I stay true to my words. Whatever that I said to you, my team and I are ready to deliver. All you simply need is your utmost cooperation, because my mantra simply says, Ubuntu, we are all involved. So we are urging all students to come on board with their full resources, being it academic resource, being it entrepreneurial resource, whatever you have, just come on board with it to run a collective student friends. Once again, my name is Shakir Is-Haq, your chill Sakura guy, and your SRC president. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Master Shakir Is-Haq.
Thank you so much.
And for spending the time to join us right here to have this in-depth conversation that the entire students of KNUST have been looking up to and for. Right. We appreciate the time you have spent to join us here. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
And we expect that you serve with due diligence.
Thank you so much.
As a good people of KNUST. Also,
Really appreciate it.
all right. Thank you very much. And so our dear listeners who expended the time to join us right here, this is Volk Live. As we do time and again, we bring right into your space these important conversations to keep you updated and bring you in the loop about all the things that genuinely matter. My name is Augustine. I was your host for this particular interview session. Until next time, you have a wonderful day and sayonara.